Glasnost is a word from my childhood before I knew anything about international politics, and Mikhail Gorbachev was a key figure in the Cold War, and so we have him represented in Twilight Struggle. We'll take a look at the Glasnost event here today on Legendary Tactics. Glasnost is a potentially powerful event for the Soviet player, and is the second half of the 1-2 punch that begins with the Reformer. The US is not going to want to play this one if they can avoid it. Let's take a look at it more closely now. First of all, the event. Glasnost is a 4-op starred Soviet late war event card. Triggering the event gives the USSR 2 victory points and improves DEFCON by 1 level. The event stops here unless the Reformer event has been played and is in effect. If that's the case, the USSR may place influence or attempt realignments as if they had played a 4-ops card. For the USSR, this is a more or less exciting card depending on whether the Reformer event has been played. If it hasn't been played, it is much less attractive to you, as it potentially gives the US a battleground country coup on their turn in exchange for only 2 victory points, not to mention the 4 operations points that you give up for taking the event. The only time you might take this event during action rounds in this case is if you can win by using the War Games event, or if you're close enough to win by automatic victory. If you really need those victory points, then it would be best to headline this event and see what you can do to take advantage of the lowering of DEFCON in your first action round of the turn. It's a whole different ballgame if the Reformer event has been played. Glasnost then jumps out as an outstanding headline, which you can then follow with your usual first action round battleground country coup, only this time the DEFCON will typically be at 4, opening up opportunities in Asia for you. Interestingly, for the US player, this card potentially opens up some interesting possibilities. If the Reformer event is in effect, you will very likely send this to the space race, as the effect of the event can't be repaired by the 4 operations points that it provides. That much is obvious. If the Reformer event is not in effect, however, there's an interesting trade-off possible. Taking the event first before utilizing the 4 operations points does hand the Soviet player 2 victory points, but it also lowers DEFCON, allowing a powerful battleground country coup, likely in one of Africa, Central, or South America. It's almost like the ABM treaty event, it just costs you some victory points in exchange. You'll need to take a look at the board situation, but if the situation is right, you could certainly make an argument for trading 2 victory points for a coup in a key battleground country, especially if it gives you domination or control, or prevents the same of your opponent. Or, taking those 4 operations points might be worth 2 victory points if the right situation presents itself. You'll have to read the board and where you are in the game to be sure. So for the Soviets, Glasnost is not an incredible card unless the Reformer event is in effect. If it is, headline Glasnost to get 4 ops during the headline phase, 2 victory points, and your choice of any country outside of Europe to coup in your first action round. For the US, there's no question as to what to do if the Reformer event is in effect. Send this card to space. If it isn't in effect, then you may want to trade 2 victory points for a powerful coup, or even just the 4 operations points depending on the situation. This has been our analysis of the Glasnost card in Twilight Struggle. We hope you enjoyed this video and got some value from it. If you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.